Welcome to 2-Minute Warning. This is episode 112. This is the first one I'll be doing alone. So today I'm going to be talking about college football and the top four's hopes and what this past weekend meant for them. So I'm going to start off with number one, Alabama. They looked amazing. 63-3 win over Kentucky. However, Mac Jones wasn't putting up Heisman-like numbers. He was pretty efficient when he did throw, but only 230 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that's also due to the quick lead that they got out to. So once they got up by so much, they wanted to run the ball, burn some clock, and I completely understand that. Gave Najee Harris some time to shine and a few other backup running backs. I think they had 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns, and they even pulled him out towards the end of the game and gave one of their backups some playing time. So that's not his fault entirely, but that win showcased Alabama as a whole and showed that they're still an amazing football team. So even after they missed last week, so I think they're going to keep rolling, and I look forward to seeing them in Florida in the SEC championship game if that does happen. Next up, I'll talk about OSU, who had a very interesting weekend. They did win 42-35, but they did not look good in that win. They had some quarterback struggles. Justin Fields, who was in the Heisman race, I think he was number 3, threw 3 picks this last weekend and was not very efficient. 18 for 30, so just over a 50% completion rate. Hopefully, probably 60%. So I think that sort of erased his Heisman hopes after throwing 3 picks. Really struggled. Was not very accurate. He did find his targets when he needed to, threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that 3 interceptions really killed him and gave Indiana the chance to attempt a comeback. But Indiana looked good. On the defensive side, however, Ohio State did not look very good either. I mean, their run defense was pretty good. They were able to stop some big run plays, held them to only a few rushing yards, but their pass defense did not get the pressure they needed on the quarterback, and he absolutely torched them. He threw for 491 yards and 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. But in my eyes, he's a good quarterback, but he's not Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask tier. They're going to need to tighten up that offense or that defensive secondary if they have any hope of making a college football playoff run. It just looked terrible. I mean, no discredit to the Indiana quarterback, but I believe that if they were to see Kyle Trask right now with that Florida offense, they would absolutely torch their secondary. So if they expect to do any sort of run in the playoffs, which I'm sure they will, which I'm sure they expect, they need to tighten that up. And Justin Fields needs to figure it out and stop throwing so many picks. I mean, Indiana was 1 touchdown away, and their quarterback threw a pick 6. If that never happened, it's a 35-35 game. Going to overtime, Indiana might have a chance to win. Looks completely different. But, so they need to tighten all that up. I'll move on. Notre Dame had a bye week this week. Their next opponent, I believe, is North Carolina, who's a decent team, but I think Notre Dame should be able to beat them. And for them, the next real opponent I think they're going to see is the ACC championship game, Clemson. And they're going to need to win that. That's going to determine a lot in the college football playoff rankings. But for Clemson, they just need to play a game. I mean, they haven't played in 2-3 weeks, I think, and Trevor Lawrence hasn't played in 4. If they have any expectation to stay up there, they need to play a game, knock the rust off. I mean, Florida State, there were some rumors that they just used that case to get the game taken off, but still, they need to play. They might be getting a little rusty. We haven't seen Trevor Lawrence in 4 weeks. Hopefully he can pick up where he left off on, but there's always that possibility that he's rusty and it's going to take him a while to get back to where he used to be. We saw that with Cam Newton, so hopefully we don't see that with Trevor Lawrence. I would hate to see this whole COVID situation knock him down quite a bit. He's a great quarterback, looking good for the draft, but we're going to need to see him play a game if we want to keep them up. There's teams fighting for a spot like Florida, Texas A&M, BYU, Cincinnati, who really want that spot, and Clemson's not playing any games to prove that they deserve it, so that might cause some problems later on, but other than that,